And here we are, live, streaming, coming to you to talk about the Suicide Squad trailer. The Suicide Squad.
The.
I still take issue with the naming of this because you can't call it Suicide Squad 2, right? Because it's not really a Suicide Squad 2. And
No.
I guess you can't call it like Suicide Squad Harley's Revenge or, the subtitle, even though that's what they did with Birds of Prey. But the Suicide Squad, I just feel a little bit like it's trying to overtake Suicide Squad. Because it's the Suicide Squad. It's like, But I'll let that go for now. I just watched the trailer. I have some thoughts. I know you have also seen the trailer. So why don't you start with your impressions? What did you think?
Okay, so my immediate reaction is, kind of like what I texted you. It is the R-rated DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, without having... If I didn't know James Gunn was directing it, I may not have had that thought or comment immediately. But knowing it's James Gunn, knowing what he did for Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then seeing this, a montage of super unknown characters, to me at least, I know the basics. I know, Harley Quinn. I know Rick Flag, Amanda Waller, Captain Boomerang, Polka Dot Man, and King Shark. So, I know some of the basics that are in this, but we got a guy that looks like a rat licking a cage, and a giant starfish that explodes at the end of the kaiju reference, and Idris Elba's character Bloodsport. I mean, I tried Googling him when the original introduction trailer came out back with the DC fandom, and I'm like, who is this guy? So all I could think is James Gunn is just pulling names and just having fun with it, and that's all he has said. Less of a dissection of the trailer and more of a dissection of how this process is going. He's just going to have a ball with this. He's said how much he loves the Harley Quinn character and everything. So seeing the trailer and seeing that it wasn't necessarily an action packed, this is what's coming your way, and more here's this guy, here's this guy, here's this guy, here's this guy, here's this guy. Here's a lot of quippy, fun comments. Here's a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of tone, only R-rated, so we're not going to hold anything back, whether it's violence or language. So I'm just okay, let's see. One of the things I think DC has been able to pride itself on is the diversity of movies that they've dropped. I mean, this is a universe that has a very okay but shiny Aquaman movie, and a very throwback to 80s fun with Shazam, and then the Snyder trilogy of Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League being its own thing, and then the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman. I mean, two completely different styles of movie, and then this. So if there's one thing that DC is continuing to churn out, it's the diversity factor of let's bring whatever we can to the table with a different type of director each time, and let's have fun with it. And if the continuity comes, it comes. But they're not necessarily that concerned about it, seeing as this Suicide Squad is, to me, it's replacing the Ayer Suicide Squad. And, I don't want to dampen your dreams too much, Dave, but I think when I watched this trailer, I'm like, it's going to be a lot harder for the Ayer cut to come out. I mean, it's just really, to me, launching a new Suicide Squad, just verse. What do you think? Well,
my initial reaction is that I don't like John Cena. I don't. I just don't. And I think I have a problem with professional wrestlers, to be honest, because I don't really like The Rock either. I've always had. I think they're
Black Adam. Black Adam.
I think they're perfectly wonderful people. I'm sure they're very nice. I have nothing against them, but there's something about the acting from these professional wrestlers. Not all of them. I feel like there's other people who have graduated. But
Dave Bautista.
He's the exception. Batista's good.
James Gunn guy.
Yes. So it makes sense that he will go back to the wrestling pool. But it's a very bombastic act. It feels like they're acting. Like when The Rock talks and when John Cena talks, it feels like they're reading lines. I can hear them just like you know how when you go see a play, like a stage play, and people are on a stage and they're like, well, here's my funny line that I'm saying. It's a joke, everyone. That's how The Rock sounds every time he talks to me, which when he's in something like Moana, it works great because his character, that is his character, bigger than life, big, bombastic, and it's a cartoon, so it's exaggerated. Fine. Fast and Furious movies, a little bit, kind of hard to take, but it's still kind of his character. Everyone is hyper real in that. But now that I'm seeing John Cena with talking about the eating bags on beaches and for patriotism and just something about the way he's delivering the line, I'm like, it's not funny. Like, it's not, I don't believe you, the way he's saying it. I don't know. That is the thing that really jumped out to me watching this, and I hate to go into it so cynically, but I can't help it because he's getting his own show, right? They're doing a Peacemaker spin-off show. Did you hear about that?
It sounds familiar, but I don't know if hey,
maybe it's not completely greenlit, but I really feel like that was one of those things that's happening, and so I'm like,
all the HBO Max stuff.
Yeah,
this is a show. This is a show. This is a show.
Right. They're making spin-offs for everything. I'm like, okay, all right. So, getting that out of the way, I was expecting more from a Red Band trailer. There was almost no violence. There was one scene of King Shark ripping a guy in half. But beyond that, and maybe a few swear words, but really nothing that I would expect from a Red Band trailer for a movie that's been hyped as this is R-rated. This is this is going to be oh, you won't believe it. It's going to be crazy. It was not crazy. There was nothing in it that really... And there was a lot of clips of scenes that didn't really show what was going on. But kind of gave a vibe. And I guess I'm biased too because I love the original Ayer Suicide Squad. I want the Ayer cut. I have videos on our YouTube channel where I'm yelling about let's do the Ayer cut. Let's get this going. Let's bring this back. And as much as I want every DC movie to succeed, I'm coming into this more cynical than I thought. I thought I was more open, but when I actually saw this Suicide Squad, in my head it's not the Suicide Squad, I'm like, this is a Suicide Squad, but for me it will always be the other guys will be the Suicide Squad, and this is okay, we got John Cena and we got King Shark. King Shark looks pretty cool, but is he just going to be Groot? Is he going to be the character who doesn't really say anything, but is the comic relief, but a little more violent?
Interesting parallel.
I don't know. It's hard to tell from the way these trailers are cut sometimes. And also, I'm a big Harley nerd, and I feel like people either get her or they don't get her. And I don't know if what I've seen, they get her. The Angels line was kind of what, at the end of the trailer. And do you remember that?
When she's...
I try to keep our review PG, so I don't repeat too
Oh,
many
okay.
of like the non PG lines. But she has a line about angels excreting something and all over them,
Oh, yes.
and it's
Yes.
like
Yep.
I don't know. Like I just think sometimes it's trying too hard. The perfect Harley, one of the best Harley is the animated Harley, the original animated Harley and the HBO series animated Harley. That is to me the gold standard of her as a character. They got it perfect, and the HBO animated version is R-rated, but I think sometimes in the movies they try too hard to make her like I don't know, dirty or witty or just like wacky or
Hmm.
goofy. And they even started off by like kind of making fun of her appearance, like, oh, we're doing this to save a crazy jester lady or whatever. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're past that. Like, she's been a character for a long time. She doesn't even dress that way anymore. She dresses just in black and red. Like, she doesn't even have the Harlequin outfit anymore. She
Hmm.
has like a completely different look. So,
Which I loved in Birds of Prey.
yes, yeah, I would say like Birds of Prey is like the next below like the animated versions.
Hmm.
That's like a really really good interpretation of her that
Hmm.
I think did her justice. And then below that would be her first appearance in live action, Suicide Squad, where I thought she was perfect in that. Like I really thought Ayer got her completely right and had just the amount of crazy with also the amount of like restraint, not constantly dropping one-liners, not constantly being like I'm the wild one. So we'll
Interesting.
see. We'll see. I'm you and I have talked movies for many a year, and you know that when I saw the Batman versus Superman trailer, I remember walking and talking about it in downtown, and I had a rant that sounded a lot like what I'm doing right now, where I'm just like, I don't know, man, like I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and then I love the
Yeah.
movie. So
Yeah.
this is kind of my when it
So it's a
comes
good
to
trend. It's a good trend to have.
yes,
Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
kind of giving the movie good juju right now.
It can only go up. It can only be better than my expectations. And it's also, I think I come at things that are close to me more critically and more cautiously. I love Batman. So when a new Batman movie comes out, I'm like, okay, like, how's it going to be? And you could probably see, like, behind me, I've got, like, Harley Quinn, like, figures and things like,
Hmm.
I'm a fan. So when she's got a new movie coming out, it's like, okay, like, I hope it's good. I hope it's good. And I was really excited by the teaser that showed her with her new outfit and the guns that she had and the action sequences that it looks like she's going to be in.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, this looks cool. This looks cool. So we only saw snippets. I feel like, was there anything else you could see going on in the trailer to talk about? It's very cryptic.
No, no. It's I think probably the best like teaser, if you want, call it that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 3 minutes, but it's a tease. You get like I said, you get the roster, you get like the look of everybody, and somewhat glimpses that there's going to be, the Apocalypse Now kind of action sequence on a beach,
Yeah.
with a jungly atmosphere, and maybe you get the idea that like that opening sequence of the trailer is probably the beginning of the movie. Maybe, I mean, like, because it's her first time seeing who Bloodsport is,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like establishing that her and Rick Flag have been down this road before, whether it's referencing the Ayer movie or if it's referencing multiple times that Amanda Waller has sent this team out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not much to take from it other than like your opinions on the characters you've seen so far,
Right.
whether you like Cena or not, and whether you like the dialogue or not. I would say like I wouldn't say I'm completely opposite on the Cena thing, but I liked it. I was like, oh, this is great. This is, I think, playing the character. I don't know too much about Peacemaker, but like the stuff I've heard, everything he's doing is like that kind of fits. That fits for that type of character. So we'll have to see it in play, see how it all works out. I'm sure there were tons of people that were skeptical of like Batista playing Drax. Really, like how's that going to work?
Yeah,
And I mean, he brought that character to like, yeah, and also, I mean, like sticking with the same, with the parallels of Gunn and Guardians and Gunn and now Suicide Squad. Just thinking of like, okay, how is Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec? How is he going to like command, the space jockey and the guy that's basically going to like launch this new franchise? He's killed it. He's done fantastic.
Yeah.
Both Guardians movies and then the Avenger Infinity War game. And, he's going to be a big focal point in Love and Thunder. So like, you think of these guys early on and you don't think of where they're inevitably going to be. And that could be with Cena or, any of these other characters that Gunn has added to this movie where you're like, Cena, really? Like the wrestler who, is just in his choppy action movies with terrible one-liners. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Gunn's got a good reputation of just doing right by the right people and getting that mixed bag, because Guardians of the Galaxy, like, did anybody besides like real deep fans, did anybody really know those characters? And like, you're trusting the director to really bring out some obscure characters and have you fall in love with them. And that's what he did with it. And he talk about obscure. I mean, Polka Dot Man. I mean, like, here we are again with the same kind of concept. And all I can think is like, all right, here, James Gunn, you got a reputation. Let's see it happen again. So we'll see.
Yeah, I do like that the posters say "Don't get too attached." Have you seen those?
I have not. No,
Yeah.
that's good though.
Yeah, and it's that gives me hope because Suicide Squad and tons and tons and tons of characters, so they're not all going to make it. That's good. I think what I would have liked to have seen is the type of trailer that's more of like a short scene, like sometimes it's just like an isolated scene. Because as you said all that, it made me think that maybe Gunn's style and filmmaking works better as a whole, but not when you cut it up, not when someone else edits a trailer, chops up the jokes and the moments and isolates them out of the context. Because if you took some of the things that Drax or Rocket Raccoon say and you take them out of context, they don't land the same way that they do when you put them in a situation. So very fair point. Very fair point. I'm a little less worried now. Like okay. I gotta.
Yeah.
I just. It's yeah. We'll see. When does it come out? Do we know?
Early August.
August.
Yep, and it's another one of the in theaters and HBO Max. So, thank you HBO Max for continuing to like line these up for us.
Yeah.
Compared to everything, so many things that get pushed to 2022, 2023, things that we may never see. But at least this is still happening. So, it'll allow us to at least see it and give a firsthand, were we right now or were we wrong? Be like, oh my gosh, like it was so good. Oh my gosh, Gunn is horrible. Good thing he's going back to Marvel for Volume 3 because, man, bring the haircut back.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. I don't have any doubt that it'll be good, but I need to get over my biases and my attachment to the past. I have to let it go. I have to move on. I have to accept that we have a new Suicide Squad. I think it would bother me less if it didn't have Harley in it, if it was a completely different group of characters, but like carrying Harley over just feels odd.
To me, to me, it doesn't necessarily make too much sense because of where they left her off with Birds of Prey. You know,
right.
Continue that story and let Rick Flag and whoever's left over from Suicide Squad continue their story. You know, it just, the way things were lining up at the end of that movie, it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like her and, oh gosh, who's your Batgirl that you like?
Cassandra Cain.
Yes, her and Cassandra Cain riding off into the sunset, doing their own thing. How is that going to bleed over into this? I don't know.
Yeah, is it a prequel? Does it happen before or after? Are there going to be references?
Yeah.
There's all these questions. I know David Ayer has been very supportive of this movie. And he, as much as he is also supporting people with the Ayer cut, he's actually made a point of saying, like, if that ever would happen, it wouldn't happen for a while because you don't want to take away from this. You know, it would be a terrible marketing decision to, like, all of a sudden confuse and muddy the waters by releasing two Suicide Squad. So Ayer cut, when it hopefully comes out, maybe like a year from now, you know, like give it way more than enough time and then make it some sort of just little event thing when this has already gone, had its reception, had become canon in whatever way that it is. They can re-release some sort of special Blu-ray for the first Suicide Squad and have the Ayer cut on it, and there you go. Then the fans are happy, but it's also just kind of on the side, so it doesn't. It's not like they're confusing anyone. But yeah, I hopeful, cautious, excited. Yeah, I guess so. I'm excited for any DC stuff. It'll be cool to see, and it'll be cool to see what characters we don't know about, because there's a huge cast list, and there are definitely going to be Easter eggs and just probably a ton of people that are going to be just really shocking but delightful to see. They go like, what? I mean, just seeing Starro in the trailer, I was like, okay, here we go. So come back when we watch the movie, because you know we're going to review that. And we'll find out if I was right to be cautious, or if John Cena is the new The Rock, and he's going to be in every action movie, and everybody's going to love him. But I'll be over in the corners, just saying like, no, give Batista more roles. That guy's got range. Did you see him in Blade Runner? He was in the movie for like 5 minutes, but he was one of the best parts of the whole movie. So, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
who knows? Maybe he might be a surprise in this one.
Is he in it? Do we know? Is he in that giant list?
I don't think he's in the giant list, but I think I heard some stuff. I heard because the director of Thor Ragnarok, I think, is in this as well. So there's a couple Marvel guys that Gunn has worked with.
Okay.
I would not be shocked if.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah, no, that would.
His guys love him, so I mean, if there's one thing that you can trust about, so yeah,
it'll be good. Actually, you know what? I have a prediction. I wonder if we'll get some. You know how DC and Marvel have like copycat characters sometimes? I wonder if we'll get some Marvel characters that are maybe not official DC characters, but maybe James Gunn is going to create a few characters that are clearly like Marvel but not Marvel, and then kill them. Have them be like fodder for something. Just as a little knock. Just as a little knock for what Marvel did to him. And just as a little fan.
Even though he's going back. Even though he's going back to Marvel.
Even though he's going back, I think there's nothing wrong with a little friendly jab. Something like that I think would be kind of cute. Okay. And I could see him doing that, where there's like an Iron Man type character that's like, it's not Iron Man, but it's like a guy in a robot suit that really doesn't work right, and people are like, "What is this guy?" And then he gets killed immediately, like something like that, where it's just
Okay.
just a little, like that would be fun. I don't know, that would be fun. That's my prediction. I feel like Gunn is the kind of guy who would do that, who would throw in
Okay.
a little reference like that. So
Okay. Well, I don't know if you caught it, but Michael Rooker was wearing a very Guardians looking leather coat.
oh,
I don't know if you
okay,
caught that. Michael Rooker, had the long blonde hair.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what his name is, but I mean it's Yandu, for God's sake. So like,
Mm-hmm.
you might be onto something with the amount of guys he's brought over and his love of the comic book characters and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, all in friendly fun, but
Hmm.
I think it would be a fun thing to see. So that's my prediction. We'll see if I'm right. We'll cut back to this in August.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Josh,
Sure.
on this A Lot of Critics stream, and we will be back. We will be back. What's the next thing? What's the next hot thing?
Kong this Wednesday.
Kong!
It's coming Wednesday. Will we have the same reactions we had in the lot from Godzilla,
Yes.
King of the Monsters?
Yes.
Whew.
I'm I'm beyond hyped, so I have to be
Speaking
careful
of
not
disappointments,
to like.
speaking of
Right. Like,
there
I
is a
can't-
reason to be concerned.
Yes, I don't want to like. I have to temper my expectations, so I'm not disappointed. But I can't. I'm extremely excited. So we'll see. But no. Okay. Yeah. We'll see you all back here for the Kong versus Godzilla review. Thank you for watching.